Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. For today's ceremony, for any guests who require accessibility support or a transcript of today's announcements, please visit the Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego website at mcrdsd.marines.mil to access ADA-compliant audience guides. Once again, that is mcrdsd.marines.mil. Navigate to the graduation schedule page to access the guides, which are available in both English and Spanish. Para los invitados que no hablan inglés, hay guiones en español disponibles en el sitio web mcrdsd.marines.mil. And finally, before the ceremony begins, we would like to notify all guests that simulated cannon fire will be used later today to render honors to our parade reviewing official. Although the cannons are ceremonial, the reports will be notably loud. Guests with sensitive hearing, as well as those with young children, may wish to take precautions as we approach the honors portion of the ceremony, particularly those seated on the left-hand side of the parade deck closest to the General's building. A second notification will be given during the ceremony immediately prior to the firing of the cannons. Thank you. As the band enters the parade deck, we ask that you refrain from crossing the parade deck or crossing in front of the reviewing area. If you must cross, please go to the far ends. Once you have reached the seating area, we ask that you remain seated, keeping the area directly in front of the bleachers clear. Feel free to take photographs and videos from anywhere in the seating area. We ask that you silence all electronic devices. Please look around you and do not leave any trash or personal belongings. At the conclusion of today's ceremony, we ask that you exit the parade deck behind the bleachers. Thank you. A Marine band has been a part of the depot's history since 1914, when the 4th Marine Regiment Band was originally stationed in San Diego. In 1921, the 2nd Advanced Base Band was officially formed. In those early years, the band marched in local parades and played weekly concerts at the Organ Pavilion in Balboa Park, which is a tradition that continues today, as the band still performs on that very same stage. In 1948, the band adopted its current title, Marine Band San Diego. For over a century, the band has sustained the Corps' rich military history with performances locally, across the nation, and throughout the globe, where they have thrilled countless millions with their inspiring renditions of traditional and contemporary music. Each member of the band has completed recruit training and maintains combat skills, giving true meaning to the title, Marine Musicians. Marine Band San Diego is under the leadership of the officer in charge, Chief Warrant Officer 2 Megan Harper, and the enlisted band leader, Master Gunnery Sergeant Frederick Kern. Today, the band is led on the march by the drum major, Gunnery Sergeant Wesley Hayes, and is under the direction of the enlisted conductor, Staff Sergeant Hannah Ford. Another round of applause for Marine Band San Diego. For its first 136 years, the Marine Corps had no formalized plan for training recruits. Major General William Biddle sought to change this, and in 1911, he established the Corps' first formal training schools, one in Parris Island, South Carolina, and one in Mare Island, California. By 1923, West Coast recruit training was moved here, where it has remained ever since. Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego were inspired by Spanish colonial revival architecture and are known as the Arcade. The Arcade was designed by world-famous architect Bertram Goodhue, who was also credited with creating San Diego's Balboa Park and the United States Naval Academy. Over 25 buildings here are the original structures from over 100 years ago, and they are proudly included on the National Register of Historic Places. For over a century, the depot has served as the recruit training center for the western United States, covering over 3 million square miles of the population. The Western Recruiting Region tasks over 3,000 recruiting staff, over more than 700 recruiting stations, with the mission of finding America's finest young men and women and offering them the challenge of becoming a United States Marine. Through 13 weeks of rigorous training, the drill instructors, officers, and staff of the depot have worked tirelessly to train your new Marine. While some individual techniques and methods may have evolved over the years, you can rest assured that they received the toughest, most physically and mentally demanding recruit training offered anywhere in the world. More than 1 million Marines have been trained here and have marched across this parade deck, just as your Marines will today. Like those before them, the Marines of Mike Company accept their responsibilities to safeguard the traditions of the Marine Corps as they step forward to join our rich heritage. Ahead of them lie bright futures that will no doubt add to the proud Marine legacy that they now rightfully claim as their own. If you turn your attention to the center reviewing stand, you will see Lance Corporal Bruno. Lance Corporal Bruno is a 2-year-old full-blooded English bulldog born in Fallbrook, California on October 22, 2022. He is named after Major General Bruno Hochmuth, who was the first general officer killed in action during the Vietnam War. Major General Hochmuth was also the commanding general of the depot from November of 1963 to February of 1967. Lance Corporal Bruno continues the tradition of a long line of Marine Corps Bulldog mascots, dating back to 1921, when Brigadier General Smedley Butler appointed Sergeant Major Jiggs as the first Bulldog mascot for Marine Corps Barracks Quantico. Lance Corporal Bruno is being escorted by the Office of Communications Strategy and Operations, Lance Corporal Gennaro Valdez. Spiritual development plays an important part in the making of a United States Marine. Lieutenant Kai Chur, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy, will deliver the graduation prayer. Will the guests please rise?
Let us pray. Eternal God, we praise you on sunny days when your light warms our hearts. And we praise you on rainy days, trusting that your promise never changes. Today we stand before you grateful and humbled as a proud nation to witness the tremendous achievement of Mike Company. From this day forward, these Marines will be entrusted with honor, responsibility, and the security of this great nation. May your spirit be their constant strength and shield. Bind their hearts together in purpose. Inspire them to live by the values that define us. And let this nation stand stronger and safer because these Marines choose to serve it. Lord, Bless their families and loved ones who supported them. Bless our drill instructors who shaped and molded these Marines. And bless our leaders, captains, colonels, and generals as they guide them, these young men and women, into a world that will rely on their discipline and integrity. Let this world be a better place because Marines live in it. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. The Commanding General of Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego welcomes you to what is a historic event in the life of all Marines, their graduation from recruit training. Approximately 40 weeks each year for the past 100 years, new Marines have departed San Diego for service with units of the Marine Corps around the globe. The primary mission of the Recruit Depot is to provide basic training to recruits enlisted west of the Mississippi River, which represents approximately 51% of all applicants in the Marine Corps each year. The depot is also home to Recruiter School and Drill Instructor School. All of our efforts here are geared toward one end, producing America's finest fighting force, the United States Marine Corps. This morning, Mike Company, 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, will form and march in the parade. Following the pass and review, the graduating Marines will return front and center of the reviewing stand for final dismissal. The staff for today's parade is comprised of Marines from the Recruit Training Regiment. The commander of troops is Captain Maximilian Ramirez, and the parade adjutant is Captain Taylor Cunningham. The marching units are now being called to attention, and the adjutant's command, sound adjutant's call, will begin today's parade. Marching in today's parade are 518 of the graduating Marines from Mike Company. Among the 518 Marines are 2 Marines who displayed outstanding performances in 2 individually graded events. Private First Class Tyler W. Geiske from Platoon 3265 is the company high shooter, scoring a 243 out of 250. Private First Class Ian S. Palm from Platoon 3267 is the most physically fit Marine, scoring a 300 out of 300 on the physical fitness test and a 300 out of 300 on the combat fitness test. They will both be receiving awards from the Marine Corps Association and Foundation. Present today is the company honor graduates recruiter, Staff Sergeant Cole Kepler. Also present today is the primary marksmanship instructor with the highest platoon shooting average, Sergeant Evan L. Lawyer, whose platoon qualified with a shooting average of 302 out of 350. Recruit training is comprised of subjects which produce basic Marines that function effectively in garrison, are trained in rudimentary individual field and combat skills, and practice the personal and professional traits which distinguish them as Marines. Examples of these traits are discipline, which is the achievement of self-control and self-awareness, which assures respect for authority, instant and willing obedience to orders, and the self-reliance to maintain or improve those traits which exemplify a Marine. Military bearing, meaning to consistently demonstrate military presence and personal awareness, as well as properly wear and maintain one's uniforms. And esprit de corps, which is acquiring the common spirit of the Marine Corps, which inspires enthusiasm, pride, teamwork, aggressiveness, camaraderie, and the burning desire to work with and for others toward excellence in common goals. For 250 years, Marines have fought and won whenever and wherever the nation calls. In the harshest conditions, over the most brutal terrain, and against the most formidable enemies, Marines defend the ideals of freedom with grit and tenacity. Marines today remain in combat, forward deployed throughout the world, confronting every challenge with courage, loyalty, and faithfulness. They are resolved to be the most ready when the nation is least ready, to defend freedom anytime and anywhere, to stand ready to aid those devastated by natural disasters, to pay tribute to those who have forged our proud legacy, and to honor the families and loved ones who faithfully stand beside us. For the Marines of Mike Company, today marks the end of their 13-week recruit training cycle. Thanks to an intensive physical training program, their strength and endurance have doubled since their arrival aboard the depot. They have marched countless miles at Camp Pendleton, as well as on this very parade deck. Like all Marines, they have been trained as basic riflemen. With their transformation complete, they are Marines, qualified to take their places in the ranks of the world's finest fighting organization. The platoons are now being aligned from left to right in order to get them into their exact positions for the parade. The next portion of the ceremony will be our national anthem. We welcome veterans and members of the armed forces to join us in rendering appropriate honors with a military salute. For guests who have not served in the military, it is proper etiquette during the national anthem to place their right hands over their hearts, and for those in the audience wearing headgear, to remove it. Will the guests please rise for the presentation of the colors? Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated. At the command, post the colors. The color guard moves into position within the parade. This signifies that the entirety of the parade has been formed and is ready to be presented to the command. Following the command, parade rest, the parade adjutant will give the command sound off, which signals the band to parade forward of the assembled Marines while playing military marching music. The parade adjutant now presents the assembled command to the commander of troops. At the command, officers center march. All unit commanders and guidon bearers march to the front and center of the formation. Historically, it was at this point that commanding officers would issue orders and instructions to the unit commanders. Following this, the unit leaders would face about, return to their units, and pass the information along to their Marines. Throughout our nation's history, millions of men and women have earned the title United States Marine. Many who have helped shape our history join us here today. In keeping with their tradition of once a Marine, always a Marine, we would like to recognize them. At this time, those in the audience who have served as Marines, please rise. A round of applause for their dedicated service to Corps and country. Thank you. Please be seated. And now, please welcome the battalion commander for 3rd Recruit Training Battalion, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen J. Greenberg.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, distinguished guests. On behalf of the Commanding General of Marine Corps Group Depot, San Diego, in the Western Recruiting Region, Brigadier General David Hyman, and the Commanding Officer of the Recruit Training Regiment, Colonel Tracy Maese, I'd like to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for Company M. It's also my distinct pleasure to introduce to you today's parade reviewing official, the Honorable Mr. John Phelan, Secretary of the Navy, who's accompanied today by his wife, Mrs. Amy Phelan. Mr. Secretary, sir, and ma'am, thank you for joining us today. Now, before I go ahead and I talk about these incredible young Marines standing in formation behind me, what I'd first like to do is acknowledge a few groups of people who ensured their success. The first are those individuals you see wearing the distinctive green campaign covers, our legendary Marine Corps drill instructors. Ever since these Marines arrived here, there has been a drill instructor with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, everywhere that they have gone. And the drill instructors of Company M have been the critical element in their transformation from a civilian into a United States Marine. The impact that they've had on each one of them, both professionally and personally, will be as everlasting as the title that they've earned since being here. And supporting those drill instructors and the officers of Company M have been their families. No one, absolutely no one, knows better than the families the time, energy, and sacrifice that it takes to make Marine. And while the officers and the drill instructors have remained focused on the mission, their families have been picking up additional roles and responsibilities at home. So please, join me in a round of applause for the officers, the drill instructors, and the families of Company M. Now, every Marine's journey begins at a recruiting station. Representing Marine Corps Recruiting Command today is Staff Sergeant Cole Kepler from Recruiting Substation, Reno, Nevada. Staff Sergeant Kepler was a recruiter for our company honor graduate, Lance Corporal Logan Ferguson. It was Staff Sergeant Kepler who first identified Lance Corporal Ferguson's potential and offered him the opportunity to earn the title Marine. But Staff Sergeant Kepler represents just one of dozens of Marine Corps recruiters it took to identify all the potential you've seen come to fruition behind you. Staff Sergeant, thanks for joining us here today, and thanks to you and your fellow recruiters for continuing to fill our Corps' ranks with America's best and brightest. And last, while the majority of recruit training takes place here aboard the depot, there's a few critical weeks that occur up in the hills of Camp Pendleton, where these Marines were taught by the instructors of Weapons Field Training Battalion combat skills, field craft, and basic marksmanship, ensuring that this generation of Marines could continue to live up to the motto, every Marine a rifleman. Representing Weapons and Field Training Battalion today is Sergeant Evan Lawyer. Sergeant Lawyer was the primary marksmanship instructor for our platoon with the highest average score on the rifle range, platoon 3,267. Sergeant, thanks for joining us here today, and thanks to you and your fellow instructors for helping us turn these Marines into true war fighters. Now, when these men and women arrived here, they were young, fit, and intelligent. But above all else, they were courageous, and they demonstrated that courage to the moment that they chose to raise their right hand and they swore a solemn oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. 3 months ago, when they got off of those buses and they stood on our historic yellow footprints, They embarked on a journey through the world's most demanding entry-level training. And since they've been here, they've been trained and evaluated in everything that makes a Marine unique. They've demonstrated proficiency in combat-tested warfighting skills. They've proven that they have both mental and physical toughness. They've demonstrated their exemplary character, and they've proven that as a small unit leader, they have a bias for action and can decide, communicate, and act within a team. And while all of that is wildly impressive, and it truly is, what I'm personally most impressed by and proud of is their commitment. The commitment that they demonstrated every single day to both Corps and country when they woke up and they made a conscious personal decision that they were going to overcome the challenges that they faced here. And for that, I'm truly honored and humbled to stand here on this parade deck with them here today as a fellow Marine. So without further ado, let me present to you the 518 newest young men and women that can now and forever claim the title United States Marine. Now, excuse me while I address the company for one last time. Good morning, Marines. That's pure pride right there. Now, when you go home, people are going to notice some different things about you. You may say, yes, sir, no, ma'am. You may eat your chow really fast, and you may even make your bed for the first time in your entire life. But that's not actually what they're looking for. What they're really looking for is for you to set an example. Remember, the strength of the Marine Corps has been, and always will be, the individual Marine. Not necessarily the individual per se, but it's the fact that all Marines, it's the fact that our identities and our intrinsic motivations are grounded in our core values and our warfighting spirit. When you rose to the top of the Reaper and you were handed your Eagle Globe and Anchor, you became a part of our legacy. You now represent every Marine that's come before you in the entire history of the Corps. And going forward, our legacy is yours to safeguard. So be proud of yourselves. You should be. Be proud of what you've earned. Be proud of what you've accomplished. Be proud of what you now represent. But above all else, every single day, in everything that you do, through your actions and your words, continue to prove that you remain worthy of the title. On behalf of the officers, the drill instructors, and the support staff here at Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego, let me be the first to wish you fair winds and following seas. Congratulations, Marines, Semper Fidelis, and welcome to our Corps.
Now taking their position in the reviewing area is today's parade reviewing official, the Secretary of the Navy, the Honorable John C. Phelan. He is accompanied by the Commanding General of Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego and the Western Recruiting Region, Brigadier General David C. Hyman. It is customary in military tradition to use music and cannon fire to render honors to senior military officials. The custom originated at sea in the 14th century when a warship entering a foreign or friendly port would fire its cannons until all ammunition was spent. Since loading the cannons was a slow process at the time, this act of effectively disarming the ship signaled a lack of hostile intentions. Today, The firing of cannons is a symbolic honor reserved for specific high-ranking individuals. As a courtesy, while the simulated cannon fire takes place, it is recommended to protect the ears of any young children and anyone with sensitive hearing. Will the guests please rise for honors to the Honorable John C. Phelan. Last round. Thank you. Please be seated. The Honorable John C. Phelan was sworn in as the 79th Secretary of the Navy on March 25, 2025. Secretary Phelan oversees the well-being, readiness, and development of nearly 1 million sailors, Marines, reservists, and civilian personnel in the Department of the Navy. A seasoned executive with extensive leadership experience, he holds a Master of Business Administration from Harvard Business School. He also graduated Phi Beta Kappa and cum laude with distinction from Southern Methodist University, where he received a Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Political Science. He also earned a general course degree in Economics and International Relations from the London School of Economics. In 2022, Secretary Phelan received Southern Methodist University's highest alumni honor, the Distinguished Alumni Award. A committed patriot and philanthropist, Secretary Phelan has served on numerous boards with a focus on the military, veterans, education, healthcare, and the arts. In 2000, he and his wife Amy endowed free admission for all visitors to the Aspen Art Museum. He also served as the honorary chairman of the board of Third Option Foundation. As the Secretary of the Navy, His departmental priorities focus on strengthening shipbuilding and the maritime industrial base, fostering an adaptive, accountable, and war-fighting culture, and improving the health, welfare, and training of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Honorable John C. Phelan.
Sir, the parade is formed. Aye, aye, sir. Staff, Terry, go. Pass! Hey! Review! Aye! Strike!
The Pass and Review is a tradition within all military units, allowing the unit commander to formally inspect the Marines under their charge. Over the entire history of the depot, Marines that have crossed this parade deck have deployed into conflicts around the world, where we have earned our trust and dependability. Places such as Guadalcanal, where Marines worked with United States soldiers to win the first offensive victory during World War II. Iwo Jima, where uncommon valor was a common virtue, and Marines raised the national flag on top of Mount Suribachi. Incheon, where Marines assaulted 3 beaches simultaneously and outflanked North Korean forces. Quay City, where Marines defeated North Vietnamese forces during the Tet Offensive. Grenada, where military members were part of Operation Urgent Fury to help stabilize the local government. Kuwait, where Marines were part of Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm and fought to liberate the country from Iraqi forces. Fallujah, where Marines surrounded the city within 24 hours to commence Operation Vigilant Resolve and take the city back from Al-Qaeda forces. Marja, where Marines worked with Afghan, British, Canadian, Danish, and Estonian forces to remove Taliban forces from the last stronghold in Helmand Province. Even now, Marines are stationed worldwide to answer the call when they are needed. This parade deck has had many legendary Marines march across it, and they have never forgotten the feeling of earning their place among our ranks. To honor our nation's colors, as the American flag passes directly in front of you, please rise. Once it passes, you may be seated. The parade leadership will now present their units to the parade reviewing official. Leading the parade is the commander of troops, Captain Maximilian Ramirez, and the battalion staff. Marine Band San Diego from Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego is led on the march by the drum major, Gunnery Sergeant Wesley Hayes. Series 3261, Series Commander Captain Taylor Cunningham, and Platoon 3261, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Frank A. Mejia. Platoon 3262, Senior Drill Instructor, Staff Sergeant Anna P. Dominguez. Platoon 3263, Senior Drill Instructor, Gunnery Sergeant Yamil Zuniga. The Regimental Color Guard is led on the march by the Regimental Color Sergeant, Drill Instructor Sergeant Justin M. Hamlet. Series 3265, Series Commander Captain Thomas Jacobson, and Platoon 3265, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Marlon O. Hernandez Jr. Platoon 3266, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Roger R. Garcia Jr. And Platoon 3267, Senior Drill Instructor Staff Sergeant Christopher R. San Pedro. As we continue today's ceremony, if you turn to page 21 of your graduation pamphlets, you will find the Marines Hymn. The Marines Hymn has a history dating back to 1859 and has a long-standing tradition for Marines to face the direction of the music and stand at attention when it is heard. It is now directed that all Marines present and who have served honorably, and ladies and gentlemen, you are all encouraged to join. Sing the words to the first verse as Marine Band San Diego performs Anchors Away and the Marines Hymn. Will the guests please rise? Thank you. Please be seated.
Sir, listen, who's today's parade? Aye, aye,
Marine Corps' uniqueness and strength as an elite fighting force is directly attributable to the magnificent efforts of the drill instructors and company officers who train and supervise the recruits. The distinct qualities of spirit and discipline, the heart and soul of every Marine, have been developed, nurtured, and ingrained in recruits through their observance and relationship with their drill instructors and officers. Recruit training is the very foundation of the Corps. Each year, recruit training provides thousands of America's finest young men and women with the basic knowledge and skills to function in a profession characterized by its own set of high values and tough standards. The most important thing we do in the Marine Corps is make Marines. The individual Marine is the Corps. That is what we do here. For the Marines graduating today, the long, arduous journey of the last 13 weeks is but a small step into the future of the Marine Corps. As they prepare to fill the ranks of our Corps, they do so with unquestionable support for the high ideals and standards of the United States of America and the United States Marine Corps. Although my company prepares for their final dismissal from recruit training, their initial training is not over. Soon after graduation, they will report to the School of Infantry, Camp Pendleton, California, where they will continue to be trained to serve as an effective member of a Marine Rifle Squad. The intense initial training that every Marine undergoes is designed to instill the fundamental premise that every Marine is first and foremost a rifleman. The next portion of the ceremony will be the traditional function of retiring the guidons.
Guide! Center! Mark!
The guidons have been carried by the platoons throughout recruit training and are being retired to symbolize the disbanding of platoons. All similar units in the Marine Corps carry such guidons, which identify the unit and are a source of pride to each individual member. Note that the honor of carrying these guidons is bestowed upon those Marines who displayed outstanding leadership qualities, motivation, and character, and they were selected as the Platoon Honor Graduates. The Platoon Honor Graduates compete for the titles of Series and Company Honor Graduates. They are considered the top Marines graduating today and have demonstrated the highest potential for future leadership and responsibility in the Marine Corps.
Oh!
The guidons will now be returned to the drill instructors. The honor graduates will now be presented a plaque by the battalion commander, Lieutenant Colonel Stephen J. Greenberg, and the battalion's Sergeant Major, Sergeant Major Vitaly I. Holodov.
Reset! Arms! Order! Arms!
Please hold your applause until all honor graduates have been recognized. The honor graduate from platoon 3261 is Private First Class Vincent Otero from Tucson, Arizona. The honor graduate from platoon 3262 is Private First Class Miracle A. Edwards from Houston, Texas. The honor graduate from platoon 3263 is Private First Class Ethan J. Vargas from Joliet, Illinois. The honor graduate from platoon 3265 is Private First Class Juan G. Juarez from Laredo, Texas. The honor graduate from platoon 3266 and the company honor graduate is Lance Corporal Logan M. Ferguson from Sparks, Nevada. Lance Corporal Ferguson is also the recipient of the Chesty Puller Award for outstanding meritorious performance while in recruit training. The honor graduate from platoon 3267 is Private First Class Ian S. Palm from Maricopa, Arizona. Congratulations to the honor graduates of Mike Company.
Company First Sergeant reporting as ordered.
Dismiss the company.
Aye, aye, sir.
The company first sergeant will now give the command to the senior drill instructors to dismiss their platoons. Needless to say, this will be the most welcome command they have received throughout recruit training.
Senior drill instructors! Dismiss your platoon!
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. As a friendly reminder, please do not cross the parade deck or in front of the reviewing area. Utilize the far ends. Please pick up any trash and personal belongings and use the waste receptacles provided. Once you have found your new Marine, please begin making your way towards your vehicles using the walkway behind the bleachers. Your Marine has been briefed on escorting you. Please keep in mind the level of training your Marine has received and afford that same opportunity to those still in training by avoiding congestion along the walkway behind the bleachers. Do not take any photos or videos of the recruits still in training. Thank you, and Semper Fidelis.
Yep.